In this video, we're going to cover section 6.2, Law of Cosines, which is part of Unit 6, additional topics in trigonometry. Okay. Again, this is referring to tab 10, which you hopefully have copied at this point. If not, here it is real quickly. Tab 10, we did Law of Sines first, cosines is next, which is going to be basically this second piece right here. And this one's actually pretty neat because a lot of the formulas are basically plug-in style. So you have our angles are equal to all of this, and then the sides are equal to all of this, depending which side you're looking for. The only thing you'll have to remember is that this is, the side square. So once you do plug all this in and get an answer, you're going to just square root it. Okay. And as far as what these are labeled as, the triangle is basically the same as law of sines. So, across your angle is the side that goes with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right into an example. We only have 3 examples for this video, so hopefully it's not too long. We have example 1, which is the side case. Let's go ahead and try to draw this. Find the 3 angles of the triangle whose sides have lengths A equals 6 centimeters, B equals 8 centimeters, and C equals 12 centimeters. So I'm just going to draw that really quick. We did before. We're going to make sure that we are corresponding the side to the angle. So if this is little c, then this would be angle C up here. If this is little a, then angle A is on the right side over here, and angle B is going to be the last one. Remember, the angle is across from the corresponding side. Okay, so let's see. We're looking for the 3 angles. Let's start with A, just because A is first in the alphabet. So for angle A, okay, we're going to look at our formula here and see which one am I going to use for the angle. So you'll notice that there is a side option here as part of our law of cosines. And angle A is basically all of this, cosine inverse of b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. You'll notice the formats are pretty similar. Basically, it's a rendition of the Pythagorean theorem, okay, where you have the opposite sides squared, subtract the one that you're looking for squared, divided by, again, 2 times this one. And these are directly related, by the way. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm just going to write this down. We have the measure, I guess I should say the measure of angle A. Okay, the measure of angle A is going to be equal to, right now I'm just copying the formula straight from it, the inverse of cosine times b squared plus c squared minus a squared all over 2bc. And if you want, I can color code this just a bit. Okay, so I went ahead and just wrote everything out just to, to save some time here. So we have b squared, which is going to be our 8 over here, 8 squared, plus c squared, which is 12 squared, because that's our c value, minus the a squared, which is 6, all over 2 times bc, so 2 times 8 times 12. And that's it. This is basically a calculator operation at this point. So we take all of this and plug it into our handy dandy Desmos or whatever calculator you're using at this point. So here is my calculator. Make sure again that this is going to be in degrees. So go up here to your little wrench or tool or whatever that is, press degrees, and we are in degrees. Okay, go to our functions. We want the inverse, which is the middle column, inverse of cosine. By the way, it's always going to be cosine because this is the law of cosines. Okay, I like to put everything on top in parentheses just to make sure that I don't have divisions in the wrong spot. So 8 squared plus 12 squared minus 6 squared, move the cursor out, divided by 2 times 8 times 12. Make sure everything matches. The 8, 12, 6, 2, 8, 12, we have a minus in the right spots. I'm not sure why this thing looks a little blurry right now, but there we go. Okay, yeah, so we have our angle is about 26 degrees, and I'm going to just kind of round it. So A is 26 degrees. I guess I'll just put it here. A equals about 26 degrees. Okay, cool. So we have one side. We have this one. We need to find the other 2. And basically, if I find just one more, all I got to do is add and subtract from 180 to get the third one. Okay, so let's just find angle B because that one is next. So now I'm going to look for angle B. I'm just going to use 2 just to make sure that these are different. Okay, so angle B, and again, I'm just getting this directly from my foldable over here, is equal to the inverse of cosine, a squared plus c squared minus b squared all over 2 times AC. By the way, these ones are a little easier, I think, to memorize because they kind of have the same format, right? They kind of have this square, square, square plus subtract over 2 times basically these two. So, just you don't have to memorize them, but they're not as bad as the previous formulas we've had to memorize. We've had to at least be familiar with, okay? So let's go ahead and do this real quickly. We have our formula. We're going to go ahead and plug it in. I'm going to go ahead and do that real quickly right now. Okay, so here we have the plug-in part. So we have a squared, 6 squared, c is 12 squared, b is going to be 8 squared, all over 2 times ac, so 2 times 6 times 12. We plug everything into our calculator, which I am going to do real quickly right now. Okay, so here we go. We have the inverse of cosine, 6 squared plus 12 squared minus 8 squared, all over 2 times 6 times 12, which comes out to about 36 degrees. Remember that if you are using this or whatever calculator you're using, that the top does need to be done calculated first. So if you're kind of going step by step, you would want to do 6 squared plus 12 squared minus 8 squared, get the answer, and then 2 times 6 times 12, get the answer, and then divide this part by this part. So just be careful with that. Order of operations is important, okay? So about 36 degrees. So B is 36 degrees, and we're just rounding to the unit. Okay, which means that letter C is basically going to be these two, well, 180 minus the sum of these. So for letter C, I'm going to do 180 minus basically these two. So 26 plus 36, yeah, plus 36. Which is hopefully not too big of a calculation. Let's see, 180 minus these two together are going to give me, let me see, 6 and 6 is 12, carry the 1, 62. Okay, so we subtract 180 minus 62, and that's going to give us C is equal to 118 degrees, I believe. Okay, so there we go. We have found all three sides, and that's it for this one. Okay, that's it for this example. Let's go ahead and move on. Hopefully that was not too difficult. We're actually almost, well, we still have two more examples, but like I said, these are pretty, just plug in and get the answer. Okay, we have a side angle side on this one. So it says given that A is equal to 80 degrees, B is 16 meters, and C is 12 meters, find the remaining angles and side of the triangle. So here we have to kind of do a little bit more work because we're missing, we don't have as much information as we had in the other one. So let's go ahead and draw the triangle real quickly. Okay, this is what I have. I have that little b is 16 meters, and I don't have angle B, so I need to find that one. Okay, so there's my little b. I have that angle C is unknown as well, so I don't have that one. I'm going to have to find that one, but I do know that little c is my 12 meters here, and I have angle A, which is 80 degrees, but I don't have little a. Okay, so what am I going to find first? Well, this is what we call side angle side. So since you kind of see we have a side, an angle, and a side, I'm probably going to try to find something that is in conjunction with that. Okay, so let's look at our formulas for side angle side for law of cosines. We have side angle side, find the missing side. Okay, so it tells us if you have this format, you're going to look for a side first. We don't have side A, so let's try to find side A. A is going to be a square, well, sort of. A is going to be the square root of all this actually, but we have a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2 times bc times cosine of the angle A. And once we find that, we just take the square root to get our A. So let's go ahead and write that out. Okay, so here I have my formula, and I did color code it in conjunction with the triangle that I have here. And then what I did is I just plugged everything in. So you'll notice we have A squared, we don't know that one, is equal to 16 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times our B, which is 16, times the C, which is 12, cosine of 80 degrees, because that is the angle that we're looking for. After this, basically this entire thing right here, this right here is just going to be a calculator operation. Okay, so I went ahead and did that as well. And we get, if we match this up, okay, 16 squared, 12 squared, minus 2 times 16 times 12 times cosine of 80. And once again, like I've mentioned before, make sure that this is in degrees, okay? If we're not sure, just come up here, click on the little wrench, and mine is still in degrees, so we are good to go, okay? So that is what I have for a square, which means that a square is equal to about, and I'm going to keep these kind of real basic. We're not going to round, we're just going to keep the ones unit here. So 333. We need to square root this to solve for a. So I'm going to do that right here. Square root of 333 is about 18.24. So I'm going to say that a is about 18. And we're looking at centimeter, or meters, I'm sorry. 18 meters. We'll just say equal to. A is equal to about 18 meters. And there's one of the sides. Okay, so now we have all three sides. This is A is equal to 18 meters. All right, so now that we have all three sides, we just need to find the two angles. We're going to do that doing basically the same thing we did in the previous example. I'm going to find either angle B or C and then just subtract from 180. Let's find angle C this time, just because we didn't find it that way last time. So for angle C, again, I'm using my formulas. We have that C. So here, let me kind of separate this a little bit. This was to find the side, and this is to find an angle, one angle. Okay, whichever one you want to do. I'm choosing C. So C is going to be equal to, let me just write this out real quickly. Okay, so I went ahead and just wrote everything out for us. We have our formula, which is a squared b squared plus b squared minus c squared over 2ab. So remember, you're adding these two and they also go on the bottom. If I plug everything in, a is 18, b is 16, c is 12, divided by 2 times 18 over 16. Plug it all in into the calculator we go. And this is what I got right here. Okay, quick note, because I know someone's going to ask. When I do the 18 square and all that, you'll notice that on this side, when I did the side, I did put them in parentheses. That's just kind of a habit. If I'm trying to, since these ones are kind of standalone, they're not being divided, I tend to put the parentheses just out of habit. But for these ones, you actually don't have to put them, and these ones either. Like I said, it's a habit. But for these ones, I would probably not recommend it just because you might go a little too parentheses crazy. If you notice, if I put a parentheses here, I have to close it, right here. Otherwise, we get different answers. So we don't really want to go too parentheses crazy here. Okay. So, just make sure that, well, in this case, it wouldn't change it too much, but if you forget to close it in a certain place, it might deviate some of what you have. Okay, so just a quick note, because I know somebody's going to ask about that. But yeah, that's basically it. So it looks like angle C is about 40.8, which is about 41 degrees. So we have that C is equal to 41 degrees. Okay, so that is one of the sides that one of the angles that we needed. And the last angle that we need is angle B. Yeah, this is the last one that we need. So to find that one, I'm not going to complicate my life. I am just going to take 180 degrees and I'm going to subtract A and B. So A was 80 degrees and I'm sorry, A and C is what I meant to say. And C is 41 degrees. So what do we get if we add those two? We get 180 minus, so B is equal to 180 minus 80 plus 41 is going to be 121. 180 minus 21 would be 59. So B is equal to 59 degrees. Hopefully, I'm kind of doing this all in my head right now, so hopefully I don't mess up. But yeah, that's the end of this one. We have all angles, all sides, and we're done. Okay. Last example. This one's going to be pretty quick as well. The herons, I can never say that, area formula. Basically, this is just another formula to find the area of a triangle with any side lengths. So you might remember the basic area formula is just base times height over 2, or 1/2 times base times height. We also had a few in the previous unit that used sine, I believe, with the law of sines. And this one is just, it's pretty useful because It'll work most of the time, as long as you have all the sides. Okay, so the formula goes that we take the square root of the side, well, s, I'm sorry, not the side, s times s minus a times s minus b times s minus c, where s is basically the sum and then the sum of the sides divided by 2 is what I should say. So basically add the 3 sides, divide them by 2, and then just plug it into the formula. Really, really basic stuff. So let's look at an example. And I'm not going to color code for this one because I think we get the idea by now. Example 3. Use Heron's formula to find the area of a triangle with sides of lengths A equals 43 meters, B is 53 meters, and C is 72 meters. So I'm going to draw the triangle at least because why not? Let's see, the longest one is going to be 72 meters. So C is equal to that one. This one looks longer than the other ones. I'm going to say B is 53 meters over here, and little a is going to be 43 meters. And we don't care about the angles at all. I mean, if you wanted to label them, this would be A, this is B, and this is C. Remember, it's just right across from the side. But we're looking for the area. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to calculate S, because S is part of that formula that you have up here. So we need to calculate it first. S is going to be A plus B plus C all over 2, which in this case would be 43 plus 53 plus 72 all over 2. Okay, just take these and then divide them by 2. What's that going to give us? Let's see. We're going to have 3 and 3 is 6 and 2 is 8. And then 4 plus 5 is 9 plus 7 is 16. So 168 divided by 2, it's going to be 84. Okay, hopefully I got that right. So S is going to be 84. All right, so what are we going to do after that? We're going to plug this and all of these guys into the formula I have up here. So A is equal to the square root. I'm going to copy it very quickly just so we have it for reference. But you don't have to. You can go right into plug it in if you'd like. There it is. Okay. So A equals 84, I'm sorry, square root of 84 times 84 minus A, which is 43, and then 84 minus B, which is 53, and then 84 minus C, which is 72. And then you basically just plug this in, yeah? I will go ahead and let you do this on your, you can just go from here, go straight into the calculator if you'd like, but I'm just going to do it for some work to show some work, just in case anyone's interested. We have 84 times 84 minus 43. That's going to be 41, I believe. Yes, 41. And then we have 84 minus 53, which would be 31. And then 84 minus 72 is going to be 12. And I'll stop showing off at that point because I'm not going to multiply that. So let's plug that in. I'm going to go and do that real quick. Okay, so here we go. I went ahead and plugged in what I found, and I also did the other one on top just in case to make sure we didn't make any mistakes. So you'll see this is the one I found here, times 41, 31, 12, and we got 1131.88, and then I went ahead and plugged it in the way I'm assuming most of you are going to plug in at this point, the second step right here, and you'll notice that we got the exact same answer. So yeah, we subtracted correctly. So it looks like the area is going to be equal to 1,133. This one I am going to use some decimals. We'll do 0.9 meters squared because we are talking about meters in this one. And that is it, guys. That is it for this section. And hopefully it wasn't too difficult. If you have any questions, as always, just let me know.